What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Myers here, Piscine 3D Printers, and today I just want to talk to a little bit about my background and 3D modeling in general, and why I love 3D printers so much. Basically, I've been doing 3D modeling since about 1996. Was when I first got into it. I was doing it through AutoCAD. And then in 2003, I got up to where I was doing it in 3D Studio Max and Maya. I did a little bit in some of the other off-the-shelf, easy, cheap, different CAD softwares that you could get, or rendering softwares, because, you know, obviously I couldn't afford the big $6,000-$7,000 licenses back then. So, but I have been in art and doing 3D modeling and rendering and all those types of things for years and years now, and I'm just so excited to see 3D printing. It's so cool that you can take whatever is in your head, whatever you imagine, you know, before it's lost. You know, if you can print it and you can get a nice little print, or you can make a JPEG out of it or a movie or whatever, but it's virtual. You can't do anything with it. Now with 3D printing, it allows you to do what? You can make anything. You can literally, if it's made out of plastic, you can make it. I've seen prosthetics, I've seen everything, gears and bits and pieces to full-size armor that people make for cosplay. I mean, that kind of stuff is so cool. It's that you can do all of that by just whatever's in your head. And then you can turn that into reality for a low price. It's not even that expensive to do. And then even take people who are, say, model builders, right? Well, now you can get a 3D model of your whatever it is that you want to display in your room, and you can print it, right? You can, and if you really are part of, you know, you like putting it together, that's part of the fun, well, then print the parts. You don't have to go and hope you can find it, or you know, do all of the miscellaneous junk that has to go with it. You can build it yourself, right? And if you want to modify stuff, you can. The company I work for, they do a lot of 3D stuff, 3D printing in their R&D department, right? So they make, it's a construction company, so they deal in a lot of plastic components. And so things like couplers and fittings and all of these kinds of things, they can do through their R&D through 3D printing, so they don't have to go buy molds and do tests. I mean, all that stuff, when in the beginning, it used to be that was tens of thousands of dollars that they were having to invest just to make a test part. And then if it didn't work, guess what? They were back to the drawing boards, and they had to go and make more molds and do more testing and wait, duration, man, months between testing. Well, with 3D printers, not anymore. Now it's just a couple of days, and they can make new parts and try again, right? So if you're like a startup company and you've got anything that's got plastic components in it, you can just take and make it, you know, with a 3D printer. Man, you can get a 3D printer for under 200 bucks nowadays. Man, you couldn't do that before. And this is, we're talking about a 3D printer out of the box, and you don't have to have any experience with, you don't have to know anything about 3D printing whatsoever, and you can get one for 200 bucks, right? The DaVinci Mini, which I've got another video, and I'll put that link in here, but if you look at my channel, you know, it's right there on my review on the DaVinci Mini. That thing's 200 bucks. You get it right out of the box. It is one type of filament, but so what? You're just trying to figure out how to make, you know, parts for your demo to go and raise your money, right? If you want a Kickstarter or whatever it is, well, you got to have something, a product to show. Well, 3D printer is your answer, right? And then there's other 3D printing companies that are out there that will do it for you. And I'll post a link or two underneath here, depending on how many I can find for you. But and they will do the 3D printing for you. So even if you don't want to invest in a 3D printer, which I don't understand why you wouldn't. I mean, it's a tax deduction after all. It's a you can write it off. So go get one. Nope, I'm losing the sunlight here. But in any case, the evolution of 3D printing is insane. I mean, just in the last 5 years, how much the technology has changed is ridiculous. You know, it used to be pretty much owned by, you know, MakerBot and a couple of the other, you know, offshoots, but MakerBot pretty much owned it, you know. And when they had their big falling out, when they went from open source to closed source, a lot of people got butthurt and moved on to a whole different thing. And so what happened? Well, there's opportunity, right? So all these other companies that weren't doing 3D printers before, all of a sudden, guess what? Now they're making 3D printers. Why? Because there's a demand for it, right? You got all these people who are 3D enthusiasts who want to use 3D printers, but their main source stabbed them in the back from their viewpoint, and they need something else, right? So now you got Dremel, and you got FlashForge, you got XYZ Printing, you got Tripod, you got all of these other out of the nowhere. Here they come, right? And they bring their backing behind them, and like Dremel, they make some of the best hand tools on earth, but yet now they've got a 3D printer, right? So they've created an entire division just to make 3D printers, so you could have something that you could do. And that's insane, and it's awesome, right? Because that falling out created all the diversity that we have now, which drove the prices down, because now there's more and more people getting involved. Now you're getting kids involved. You got all of these different things going on, and think about it. You got kids now learning how to use 3D printers. By the time they graduate high school, it's going to be a commodity. It's just going to be right then and there. And everybody will have a 3D printer in their house, just like you have a regular printer in your house. It'll just be just a household item like a blender. I mean, and so you need to get into it now. So get a 3D printer, get into 3D printing, and if you're not going to get into it, at least, you know, look for ways that you can use it to help your company out. Now, I can't think of any manufacturing company on earth that could go without a 3D printer. We have to outsource all of ours, but they could spend a little bit of money and could save them a ton over time just by getting one person and an operator in to do it. You know, they've got some plastic injection molding machines, but I mean those cost money to operate, those cost money to keep up with, and so do 3D printers. Now, I've seen companies that have a whole fleet of them, a whole bunch of 3D printers, and that's all they're running 24/7. You know, I don't know if it's more economical than a plastic injection molding system, but the advantage of the 3D printer is that if you decide you want to change to a different part, no problem. Re-upload a new model and boom, you're gone. You don't have to go make new molds and wait months and all of these other kinds of things that you have to do with a plastic injection molding. The disadvantage is of course, the print time is nowhere near as fast as doing the plastic injection molding. You know, you can spit out parts in a plastic injection molder way faster than you can on a 3D printer, at least for now. I don't know how that technology can improve all that much. Ooh, man, I'm really losing the light here. Clouds, go away. Oh, pumpkin in the back. It is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. But in any case, going back, I get so distracted so easy. But it's fun. You know, this is all fun. And the 3D printing aspect of it, in that manufacturing or at home use or whatever, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And there's so many companies out there that see it and are taking advantage of it. And we, as a consumer, get to reap the rewards of that because, guess what? Prices go down. So not everything is now, not every printer out there is $3,000 or $1,000 or even $600 or $500, even $300. I haven't found anything less than, say, $200. And even then, I'm not sure if I would get a $200 machine because I want to do a lot more than you know, what that particular one does. But if you've got kids and you just want to get them something for Christmas that they can get that imagination going and take whatever it is that they want to do and they can make it, turn them into makers, get them, you know, thinking about stuff so they can be the next inventors of tomorrow. You know, get them a 3D printer. And that would be a huge thing. You know, rather than just get them a toy, get them a 3D printer and they can make their own toys. They can make their own stuff. I mean, what's better than that? So, check out the links I've got below. I'm going to link up a couple of the different printers for you to take a look at. I'm going to put a couple of the 3D printing companies down there in case you're interested in outsourcing. Let's say you're a company and you just happen to run across this video and you're like, man, I don't want to buy a 3D printer, but before I do, let me see what a 3D print looks like. Well, you can hire somebody to do that, and I'll put a link or two down in there. And then also, please like this video and subscribe, and then click the bell icon so that way you can be notified the next time I come out with another video like this one. So, with that in mind, happy printing.